Oh, there you are. I was wondering where you had wandered off to. I was a little confused because you were quiet one minute, and the next you just stood up and left. Thank you for the tea, though. It is incredibly appreciated. I didn't realize how badly I needed this till you sat it right in front of me. Perfect. You always seem to know just what I need. Your intuition never fails to amaze me. Is this the tea we picked up from the market the last time we ventured into downtown? Impeccable taste as always. You certainly made a good choice picking this one up. No, I'm not overworking myself again. I promised you I would try to stop doing that. And with you around constantly watching over me and insisting I take breaks, I haven't exactly had the chance to do so now, have I? If you're interested to know what I'm reading, it's simply a new fantasy novel I found recently. It was rather dusty when I first found it, and something about it seems nostalgic, as if some part of me remembers reading this in the past. But let's not dwell on the unknowns of the past. Oh? It's, well, it's a love story. It's actually a somewhat modern adaptation of an ancient Greek tale. About the love between a god and a mortal. The youngest daughter of a king was said to be far more beautiful than the goddess Aphrodite herself. So much so, she was starting to be forgotten, and her temples abandoned. Enraged by this, Aphrodite asked her son Eros to make her fall in love with the vilest creature he could find on Earth. However, the second Eros laid eyes on this maiden, he felt his heart pierced by one of his arrows, and found himself unable to comply with his mother's request. What was the maiden's name? I'm sorry, did I not mention it? Well, her name was Psyche. Whilst her two older sisters fell in love and married kings, despite being incomparable in both beauty and seduction to Psyche, Psyche found herself unable to fall in love. Most men were content just to admire her from afar, intimidated by her beauty. Her inability to find a husband, especially as both her sisters had been married off to kings, caused her parents great stress, anxiety, and depression. So her parents went to the Oracle of Delphi, who told them she should be dressed in a black dress and led to a summit by the sea. Psyche was tied to the rocky surface as a great winged serpent slowly rose from the clouds to take her. Hearing Psyche's cries of distress, Eros sent the winds of the god Zephyr to raise her to his home in the clouds, far away from all she had known. Psyche was weighted on hand and foot, though every servant was invisible, and every night Eros laid down beside her, and the two would talk. His only instructions to her were to never try and look at him, and never to try and touch him. And he was always gone before she awoke in the morning. Eventually, he allowed her to see her sisters once more, bringing them to his palace in the clouds. and Psyche split everything eating on her heart and soul to them. Seeing what she had, they realized their own lives and riches paled in comparison, and with jealousy tinging on every word they spoke, they advised her over and over again to disobey his rules, and one night, Psyche saw her opportunity. She awoke in the middle of the night to find Eros still slumbering soundly beside her. Sensing this may be her one and only chance, Psyche lit a candle and hovered it over the face of her mysterious lover. Gently, she touched his face and ran her hands through the feathers of his wings, gasping in surprise as she did so. In her surprised state, a drip of wax landed on one of Eros's wings, burning straight through it. The two argued, and Psyche was taken back to Earth, never to see her husband that she had grown to love again. Psyche then went to the temple of Aphrodite to ask that she may see her son once more, and having never forgiven her and still riddled with jealousy, Aphrodite gave the young woman 3 impossible tasks, one after the other. Through the help of some of the other gods and goddesses, Psyche was able to complete all 3 of these tasks. Enraged, Aphrodite told Psyche that she would forever be her slave, and that her son did not wish to see her again, as due to her betrayal of his trust, his wound had never healed. Finally, the other gods took action and sent Hermes to narrate to Eros all that had happened. Feeling touched by how hard Psyche had tried to get back to him, and show she still loved him, his wound healed. He went searching for her and found her in her mother's garden. The two reunited and lived together in his palace, eventually forgiving Aphrodite for all she had put the two of them through. You're right. I did say this was a more modern retelling. In this version, Psyche is the daughter of a wealthy businessman, and Eros is the son of an elusive fey queen. The human world is all but forgotten about the magical realm, with some fae and witches such as the Oracle of Delphi living among them. And what are you reading, I saw your eyes lit up when we stumbled across that little second-hand bookstore in downtown, and you seemed really excited when you found that book. How fascinating. Would you, perhaps, allow me to borrow that at some stage? It sounds quite different to my usual taste in reading material, but nevertheless, it sounds rather intriguing, and after how splendid this tea was, I trust your taste in these things. Now, if you don't mind, I would like to get back to reading. Why don't you curl up on the armchair by the fire that you seem to have claimed and read with me? I'm sure you're dying to finish your own novel. Are you still enjoying that story so far? If you would like a new story and you like this audio and want to see more, you should subscribe to the channel. If you're one of our adult fans, you should consider subscribing to our Patreon at patreon.com/Celesterra. Or you can order your own personal audio at anagomi.com/commissions. See you next time.